Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from the first group, and today we want to deliver or summarize about teaching and curriculum design. And in this group, we have three members. The first member is me, Ahmad Yazid Al-Ghifari, who will read from the number 1 to number 4, and Anisa Nabila, who will read from the number 5 to number 7, and Raz Adam Ghazali will read from the number 8 to number 10. Okay. The first one is introduction. This excerpt emphasizes the view of curriculum design as an ongoing, flexible process rather than a rigid framework. The text highlights that curriculum design can be applied to all levels of teaching, from whole courses down to individual activities in a lesson. It underlines the importance of teachers making daily curriculum decisions, such as what material to use, how to present them, and how to assess students' learning. Teachers engage in curriculum design every day, often without even realizing it. For example, they regularly make decisions about whether a particular topic or activity is worth spending time on, how to present material in a way that will resonate with their students, and what aspects of the lesson should be assessed. These decisions are essentially small-scale applications of curriculum design. To make this decision effectively, teachers need to be aware of the different parts of the curriculum design process, the variety of options available to them, and the principles that can guide their choices. Examples: a teacher checks if a group activity will be too noisy or fit within class time. B. Implementation. Teachers look at the classroom setup to decide if activities will work, considering student engagement and practical issues. Advantages: make sure activities are doable and likely to succeed in the given classroom setting. Number 2. Environment analysis. Teachers must consider practical aspects like student engagement, time constraints, and whether activities are feasible in their specific context. A key component of the curriculum design process is environment analysis. This involves considering the practical aspect of teaching, such as whether an activity will engage students, if there's enough time to complete it, or if it might create challenges like excessive noise or a significant amount of making for the teacher. Experienced teachers often make these decisions intuitively, drawing on their past experiences. However, there's a risk in relying solely on experience. Teachers might become hesitant to try new approaches or underestimate their students' abilities. Research has shown that teachers often underestimate their students' vocabulary knowledge, which suggests they might also have conservative views of what their students are capable of in other areas. This highlights the importance of occasionally stepping outside of the comfort zone to challenge students and potentially uncover surprising results. The purpose of environment analysis is to ensure that the activities chosen are likely to be successful because they consider the local context. Teachers can either work within environment constraints or find ways to overcome them. For instance, if an activity seems uninteresting, rather than discarding it, teachers might ask themselves how they can make it more engaging for their students. Most practical problems in teaching have solutions, and environment analysis helps in identifying and addressing these issues. For example, a teacher checks if a group activity will be too noisy or fit within class time. Implementation: teachers assess the classroom to see if activities will work, considering engagement and practical issues. Advantage: make sure activities are practical and will work well in the classroom. 3. Needs analysis. Teachers need to assess whether the material suits the students' proficiency levels and meets their learning needs. Another critical aspect of curriculum design is needs analysis, which focuses on matching the lesson's content and activities to the diverse proficiency levels of students. Teachers frequently grapple with questions like whether the material is too difficult or too easy for their students, if it offers something new for them to learn, or if all students will be able to handle the activity. Needs analysis is essentially about assessing what students know at the start of the course, what they need to know by the end, and what they are interested in learning. It involves a research-like approach, requiring the analysis to be reliable, valid, and practical. Teachers, with their deep understanding of their students' ability and performance, are excellent sources of needs analysis information. However, to ensure accuracy, it's beneficial to draw on multiple sources of data, including various assessment tools and careful observation. Modern technology offers many tools for conducting needs analysis. For example, teachers can use web-based vocabulary checkers to assess the difficulty of tasks or access various tags to measure students' vocabulary knowledge by continually checking their intuitions against test results and observation. Teachers can better tailor their lessons to meet their students' needs. Example: a teacher checks if the reading material is too hard or if it introduce new ideas. Implementations. Teachers look at what students know, what they need to learn, and what interests them. An advantage, adjust, advantage, adjust lessons to fit students' needs, making learning more engaging and understandable. And number 4, principles. Effective teaching practice should be grounded in both research and practical experience. Teachers are encouraged to play update with current research and continually reflect on their teaching method. Curriculum designs also involve applying principles of teaching and learning to daily decisions. Teachers, teachers, teachers regularly ask themselves whether an activity will benefit their students, if they are providing enough reading opportunities, or whether it's effective to encourage memorizing of words and phrases. These questions can be addressed by referring to established principles of teaching and learning, which can come from both research and practical experience. For instance, while some teaching practice might seem intuitively beneficial, research might reveal that they have a negative impact on learning. An example provided in the text is teaching of closely related words together, which constraint to what many might expect, can make learning significantly more challenging. Professional development plays a crucial role in keeping teachers updated on the latest research findings. Attending conferences, participating in workshops, and staying informed through professional journals are all ways in which teachers can refine their understanding of teaching principles. A notable trend in applied linguistics is the move away from advocating specific methods of language teaching. Instead of searching for a one-size-fits-all approach, it's now recognized that different environments and learners require different strategies. Focusing on teaching principles allow for more flexibility and adaptability, enabling teachers to apply this principle across various contexts. Example: a teacher decides if repetitive reading exercise will help students based on teaching principles. Implementation. Teachers use research and experience to guide their decisions. Advantage: ensure teaching methods are effective and based on proven strategy. Okay, and the next will be read by Anissa Nabila. Thank you.
Okay, number 5 is goals in curriculum design. Setting clear goals is central to effective curriculum design. Surprisingly, not all teachers set explicit language learning goals for their activities, particularly those who are just beginning their careers. These teachers may be more concerned with ensuring that students are engaged and occupied during the lesson. However, asking whether an activity is leading to useful learning is a critical step toward improving instructional effectiveness. The text introduced the concept of technique analysis as a method for evaluating the effectiveness of specific teaching techniques and activities. This involves examining the learning goals associated with a technique, the mental condition needed to achieve those goals, and the observable signs that these conditions are being met. For example, the common technique of having students answer comprehension questions after reading a text can be analyzed in terms of its learning goals. Comprehension is a mental condition, and the effectiveness of comprehension question depends on their alignment with the text and the level of understanding required. Additionally, comprehension questions can support language learning by encouraging students to use new vocabulary or process the text in ways that promote deeper understanding. In curriculum design, goals are represented in the central circle of the design model, highlighting their importance. The primary purpose of a language course is to address what students need to learn, and clearly defined goals help guide the selection of content, activities, and assessment methods. Okay, next is number 6, content and sequencing. Content and sequencing are other critical elements of curriculum design. Teachers must decide what the content to include in their lessons and the order in which it should be present. This involves making choices about reading passages, vocabulary, and discussion topics, ensuring that they align with the course's learning goals. For example, when selecting a reading passage, teachers need to consider not only the topic but also the language features within the passage. It's important to focus on language features that will be useful beyond the immediate lesson. Contributing to the students' overall language development, the text also discusses different approaches to organizing course content. Some courses following content-based instruction, where language learning isn't integrated with subject matter like mathematics or tourism. This approach can be highly effective, but it also carries risk, such as neglecting language-focused learning or overlooking more broadly usable language items. Another approach is thematic instruction, which allows for the recycling of language features through the exploration of a continuing theme. While this can reinforce learning, it also requires careful management to ensure that students are exposed to a wide range of language features. Technology has made it easier for teachers to monitor important vocabulary and other language features in their lessons. Tools like vocabulary profile checkers enable teachers to track the language demands of their lessons and ensure that students are exposed to the most relevant and useful language items. For example, choosing a reading passage that introduces vocabulary relevant to the next lesson topic. Implementation, teachers select and order content to ensure that lessons build on each other and reinforce important language features. And advantage is promotes continually in learning, ensuring that students encounter and practice language skill multiple times and enhancing retention and understanding. And the next slide is number 7, format and presentation. Teachers frequently make decisions about how to structure and present their lessons, such as choosing activities, determining whether tasks should be done individually or in groups, and deciding when to introduce certain content. These decisions are influenced by teaching principles, needs analysis, and the classroom environment. Successful format and presentation depend on considering factors like physical space, time, student behavior, and activity appropriateness. Adjustment in these areas can enhance the effectiveness of teaching and strategies. For example, a teacher decides to introduce a new grammar topic. Instead of starting with direct instruction, they use a pre-teaching activity where students work in pairs to identify the grammar rule from example. And the implementation is the teacher chooses activities that align with the students' current proficiency level and classrooms too. For instance, group work is selected because the classroom is arranged to facilitate easy communication between students. And the advantage is effective format and presentation decisions can enhance student engagement, ensure a balanced lesson structure, and create a learning environment that accommodates different learning styles. Okay, maybe that's all from me. And the next slide will be read by Adam Ghazali.
7. Monitoring and assessment. Teachers should continuously monitor students during activities to ensure engagement and assess their learning. Monitoring is often informal and involves observation, while assessment is more structured and can be used to gauge learning progress and identify areas for improvement. Monitoring involves observation and assessment students' performance informally, while assessment may include tests to evaluate learning progress. Both are essential for understanding how well students are engaging with the material and achieving learning goals. For example, during a group activity, the teacher noticed one group is not participating as much as others. The teachers intervenes by providing additional guidance and encourage all members to contribute. Implementation. The teacher uses informal observation to monitor participation levels and adjust the activity as needed. Later, a short quiz assesses student understanding the material covered in the activity. Advantage. Regular monitoring helps identify and address issues in real time, ensuring that all students are actively engaged. Assessments provide feedback on students' progress and highlight areas that may need further review. 8. Evaluation. Evaluation involves judging the effectiveness of the course and individual lessons based on student satisfaction, teacher reflection, and formal assessments. It includes both subjective opinions and measurable outcomes, helping teachers refine their courses. Evaluation involves judging the success of a course or lesson. Teachers often evaluate their courses by reflecting on questions like whether students are satisfied, if the course content is being covered adequately, and if there is a room for improvement. So, evaluation can be both subjective, based on the teacher and student opinions, and objective, using measurable data. It is important to balance these perspectives to get a comprehensive understanding of a course's effectiveness. For example, after completing a unit, the teacher distributes a feedback from asking students about their satisfaction with the course content and teaching methods. The teacher also reviews the test scores to measure learning outcomes. Implementation. Evaluation combines student feedback with measurable data such as a test result or the completion of completion of learning activities to assess the effectiveness of the course. The advantage of evaluation is systematic evaluation helps in refining course content and teaching strategies, ensuring the course meets educational goals. It also provides a basis for making informed decisions about future lessons plans. 9. Curriculum design and learner autonomy. Effective curriculum design encourages learner autonomy, allowing students to take responsibility for their learning both in and out of the classroom. Teachers can promote autonomy through classroom discussion about learning tasks and by incorporating activities that students can do independently. Encouraging learning autonomy is an important goal in curriculum design. This can be achieved by helping students understand the purpose of learning tasks and incorporating activities that students can perform independently. Course books should guide learners on how to use them effectively and continue learning beyond the classroom. For example, the teacher introduces a self-directed vocabulary learning activity using flashcards. Students are encouraged to practice on their own or with a partner outside of class. Implementation. Classroom discussions are held to explain the importance of independent learning and to introduce activities like 4-3-2 or fluency exercise that students can practice independently. The advantage: promoting learner autonomy helps students become more self-reliant, improving their ability to learn outside the classroom. This approach also prepares students for lifelong learning by equipping them with the skills to study effectively on their own. That's all for me. Thank you.